Animal Farm by George Orwell is a cautionary fable about the futile quest for equality through political change. Set on a British farm, the satirical novel is based on the Russian Revolution of 1917 and uses personified animal characters to expose the dangers of a totalitarian government. The main characters are Old Major, a highly respected boar who represents the historical figure communist leader Karl Marx. Snowball is a boar and one of the leaders among the pigs who is young but intelligent and represents an abstract idea of evil. Napoleon is a stubborn boar who represents a communist tyrant. Squealer is a porker pig who is talented in the art of argument and deception. He represents the propaganda machine of a totalitarian government. Mr. Jones is a man who owns the land that is taken over by his animals. He represents a corrupt government. Pilkington is a man and the owner of another farm that is large and unkempt. He prefers pursuing his hobbies to maintaining his land and represents the Allied countries. Frederick is a cruel man and the owner of a small adjacent farm. He represents Adolf Hitler. Boxer is a large male horse who is respected for his steadiness of character and work ethic. He represents the uneducated and exploited working class who take propaganda to heart and believe in the government's cause without question. Whymper is a man and a lawyer who acts as Animal Farm's intermediary to the human world, while ignoring the atrocities committed there. He represents nations that profit from conducting business with brutal dictators. The sheep are naive and loyal to the tenets of Animal Farm and represent ignorant masses who blindly follow their government. The book opens with Old Major calling a meeting of all the animals in the big barn. He announces that human beings are the sole reason that animals in England are enslaved. They must overthrow mankind in a great rebellion. Then he declares that all men are enemies, all animals are comrades. Old Major dies a few nights later, and the other animals prepare for the rebellion under the leadership of Snowball, Napoleon, and Squealer. One night, Mr. Jones passes out drunk and neglects to feed the animals. They are so hungry that they break into the store shed and then run Mr. Jones off the farm. Napoleon and Snowball invent a complete system of thought which they call animalism. They reduce its principles to 7 commandments. They are: 1. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. 2. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. 3. No animal shall wear clothes. 4. No animal shall sleep in a bed. 5. No animal shall drink alcohol. 6. No animal shall kill any other animal. 7. All animals are equal. Soon after, their first harvest is a great success. Each animal works according to his ability and gets a fair share of food. Every Sunday, Snowball and Napoleon, who are the most intelligent of the animals, lead a meeting in the big barn. But Napoleon opposes all of Snowball's ideas. The sheep, not intelligent enough to memorize the 7 commandments, chant a single maxim: 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. As time goes by, the pigs increase their control over the animals and award themselves increasing privileges, just as the human master once did. They quell the animals' questions and protests by threatening Mr. Jones's return. During this time, Napoleon also confiscates 9 newborn puppies and secludes them in a loft in order to educate them into becoming fiercely loyal to only him. Soon, Mr. Jones and the other farmers try to recapture Animal Farm, but fail. The animals celebrate their victory in what they call the Battle of the Cowshed. Afterwards, the animals agree to let the pigs make all the resolutions. Snowball and Napoleon continue to be at odds and eventually clash over the prospect of building a windmill. Snowball believes it will shorten the work week and provide the farm electricity, but Napoleon opposes it. Napoleon summons the 9 puppies he trained, now fierce dogs, to run Snowball off the farm. At this point, Boxer, the horse, takes on his own personal maxims. I will work harder, and Napoleon is always right. Soon, Napoleon announces plans to build the windmill, claiming that it was his idea all along, rewriting history. Building the windmill forces the animals to work harder, and on Sundays. As the animals are short on food and supplies, Napoleon opens up trade with the human world, which makes the other animals uneasy. Through Squealer, Napoleon lies to the animals about the shortages and begins to hoard what little there is for himself. He enlists Whimper to be his intermediary for trade with humans. Then the pigs move into the farmhouse and begin sleeping in beds, contrary to the 4th commandment. Then, one night, strong winds destroy the unfinished windmill. Napoleon blames Snowball and sentences the expelled pig to death. As conditions become worse on Animal Farm, Napoleon deceives the human world into thinking it is prospering. He signs a sales contract with humans for a quota of 400 eggs per week, inciting a rebellion of overworked hens that results in several deaths. Soon after, Napoleon holds an assembly in which he makes several animals confess to treachery and then has the dogs execute them. The dogs try to get Boxer to confess, but leave him alone when they cannot overpower him. Napoleon arbitrarily changes another commandment to read, "No animal shall kill any other animal without cause." Squealer tries to convince the animals that production is increasing. Napoleon seldom appears in public, but Squealer paints his portrait on another barn wall. The animals now call him our leader, Comrade Napoleon. They attribute all misfortunes to Snowball and all success to Napoleon. At last, the windmill is finished and named Napoleon Mill. Soon after, Napoleon announces that he will sell timber to Frederick, the cruel owner of the adjacent farm, who pays for the timber in fake cash. The next morning, Frederick and his men invade the farm and blow up the windmill. The animals chase the humans off, though many die or are injured in what they call the Battle of the Windmill. After the battle, the pigs discover a case of whiskey in the farmhouse. They drink to excess. Squealer then reports that Napoleon is dying and, as his last action, has made the consumption of alcohol punishable by death. But Napoleon recovers quickly and learns to brew alcohol. Squealer changes another commandment to, "No animal shall drink alcohol to excess." Napoleon plans to build a schoolhouse for the 31 young pigs he has parented, while continuing to afford himself special privileges. He spreads propaganda to distract the animals from inequality and hardship. He creates special, spontaneous demonstrations in which the animals march around and celebrate their triumphs. Napoleon declares the farm a republic and is elected unanimously as president. The animals continue to work feverishly, most of all Boxer. One day, Boxer collapses while overexerting himself. Napoleon promises to send him to the veterinarian, but instead turns him over to be slaughtered. After Boxer dies, Napoleon promises to honor him with a special banquet. But the pigs use the money from his slaughter to buy a case of whiskey and then get drunk instead. Years go by, and though Animal Farm's population increases, only a few animals remember the rebellion. Conditions are still harsh despite technological improvements. One day, Squealer teaches the sheep to chant, "4 legs good, 2 legs better," as the pigs walk around the yard on their hind legs. The other animals are horrified. The 7 commandments have also been replaced with a single maxim: all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The pigs continue awarding themselves more privileges. Napoleon holds a conciliatory banquet for the farmers, announces that the animals will call each other comrade no longer, and declares that symbols of the rebellion will be stripped from the farm's flag. As the other animals peer through the windows to watch the humans and pigs play poker, they cannot distinguish between them.